Welcome to Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Well, back in the day, and by that I mean like a few years ago, if you wanted to use a power tool on a narrowboat like this, you had three options. The first one was to have a cordless power tool, which in itself comes with compromises. The second one was to have an inverter in your boat, which basically converts your 12-volt batteries up into 240 volts, so you can plug something in. Well, the last option was to have a big petrol or diesel generator, which kind of produces all the power, which weighs a ton, takes up loads of room, and needs a petrol engine in order for it to run. These days, it's all different. Welcome to the future. This is a lithium-ion battery in the shape of a portable power pack. I've got a EcoFlow River, which is a smaller version of this, which Kevin, one of my subscribers, sent to me a few months ago. And he said, James, this is literally kind of change your life. And Kevin, it really did. He lives on a narrowboat and he knew just how important it is to have 240 volt. I said, there are other ways of doing it. And when you're building the boat, when I was building the boat, you do a power audit and you work out how much power you can need for all your onboard systems. But there are certain things like laptops and stuff which need such a specific voltage range in order to work, and sometimes in the winter it's just not there. So I have needed other power resources, and this is great. So and I did say that I'd only do a video like this if firstly I really kind of thought the product was brilliant, and secondly whether there was a benefit in it for you guys, which there is, but you'll have to watch in another video for that. But for the moment I'm really just going to put this to the test. So obviously it can power pretty much anything, but the main thing for me is about charging it and how many times I can discharge it in terms of, like, you know, using the laptop and things like that, and just really how it's going to work on board. Because the River, which as I said is a slightly smaller one, once I've done 2 laptop charges, that thing's gone. So in the summer, no problem, loads of ways of charging it on the boat, but in the winter, slightly harder. So having a slightly bigger one, that's going to be great. So yeah, let's put this to the test. So I'll just give you a quick tour of the unit itself. This is the EcoFlow Delta. On the front here, you've got 2 USB-A's, 2 fast charging USBs, 2 USB-C's, and a master on and off. On this side here, you've got the charging points. So this one is for the solar and for the car charger, and that's for 240 volt. And on this side here are the main outputs, and you've got a cigarette lighter one there, and that's it. So the first job is to get it charged. There are 3 ways of charging these power packs, and as you can see, I'm outside. The most cost-effective and green method is by using the sun, and EcoFlow very kindly sent me one of these solar panels. This is the 160 watt solar panel. As you can see, it folds out, and the cable it comes with, obviously just typical MC4 connectors. And the advantage for me in this particular setup is I can just feed the cable in through the hatch. You can't really disconnect these particularly easily. You need a special tool to do them, otherwise the clips break basically. So I just left it all connected. Chuck that into the cabin, and I can plug it into the power pack. Right, that's fine. It's quite a bit of weight to it, so it's not going to kind of fly off or anything. I do have these, I put these little carabiners on them, so if it does, you know, in higher winds or something like that, I could secure it down, or if I'm navigating I can secure it down, but this will be fine like this. Let's go plug it in. And here it is, coming through. So turn it on, and you'll see at the moment it's got 40% charge. So on this side here is where you plug it in. It's completely idiot proof. It can only go in one particular way. That's in. And let's see what it does. Oh, it's chucking in a few watts. That's pretty good. So basically it's showing that at this particular rate, it's going to take between 11 and 12 hours to fully charge. As you can see, I've just adjusted it slightly, so it's kind of angled and aiming directly at the sun. Let's go and see if that's made a difference to the 67 watts being put in beforehand. Yeah, that's made a sizable difference. It's now at 89, 90 watts being put in, and it's reduced the charge time down to 8 hours. Right, I've got to go out in the car now. Normally what I'd do is I'd leave it connected through the window and just so the sun charged this all day, but it looks like the sunlight's about to fade soon and it might rain later, so I just want to take it with me and charge it in the car. But I've got a long walk ahead of me. But I'll be interested to see if I can get it up to 100%, and then I can just hopefully keep it on board. And oh yeah, weighs about 15 kilos. But hopefully then I can just keep it on board and just top it up using the solar. That'll be the plan. Right. Oh, blimey, let's go. Starting to regret this. Well, I've reached George Michael, and this is the midway point between the boat and the car. This thing is getting pretty heavy, but rather useful. It doubles up as a seat. I've literally never been so happy to see my car. Now I can charge it. I've got about an hour and a half sitting in traffic, so I might as well benefit from it. Oh, bloody hell. Where is my car? Oh, it's here. Oh, blimey, that was a bit worrying. Yeah, so I can charge it up in the car for a little bit now. Perfect. Right, so I've taken it out of its carry case. Again, idiot-proof connector. Goes into there. That goes into the cigarette lighter.
Do next, we'll have details of Britain's plan.
Right, I finished charging it in the car. I've been in the car for about, well, it's been charging in the car for about 6 hours in total. So I've now got 93% charge. Of course, the other way of charging one of these is by using one of these, a building with a 240 volt supply. I'm lucky because my ex-partners are all quite sympathetic to my needs and are more than happy for me to bring this over, plug it into the wall for a couple of hours. When you plug it into the wall, into 240 volts, it really does chuck in the power. That is now putting in a kilowatt. Right, so just over an hour this thing is fully charged. So it gets to 80% charge within 60 minutes, and obviously now from 80% to 100 is just topping it up to the full, and obviously it's putting in less current going into it as it's nearing its completion of charge. I've been walking for a good mile now carrying this EcoFlow Delta, so I feel like I'm quite a good position to give an accurate idea of what it's like. It's heavy, although I've got to say it's kind of fairly comfortable. There's two decent handles and this carrying case is kind of like fairly padded, and there's no like knobs or anything like knocking into my bits, you know what I mean? It's quite comfortable, and you can hold it in one hand, but man, that really does ache. So yeah, let's carry on. Well, now I've got this up to 100% or close to, I can keep it on the boat and start using it. Amazingly, this Delta can charge 11 devices simultaneously. So at the moment I've got 4 things plugged in here, so I'll turn it on and then turn on the USBs so they'll all start kicking in. So that's charging my mics, my phone, whatever that's called, a gimbal, and my head torch. Still got a couple of USB-Cs as well, vacant. On this side, got my laptop and my dual power pack or battery pack to charge. And the fans will kick in. These are not just used for off-grid locations. Our garden at home is really long and it's about 100 meters to the back fence from the house or from the nearest power supply. This will provide power all the way to the bottom of the garden. Well, this is the old fire pit, and I can never get power up here, so I'm sure this will power my little strimmer easily. Let's test it out on a slightly more powerful garden tool. Quite possibly the biggest challenge for one of them is one of them. So we're going to plug it in and see if it works. See, yeah, that is taking a heck of a lot, but it's working. That's 2,000 watts, 2 kilowatts that is. I've got to say, one of the great things about this Delta, same with the River, is that you can use it whilst charging it, which means I can plug it into the boat, which I quite often do. So on a day like today where it's nice and bright, the solar panels on the roof have charged all the batteries, so I'm not using hardly any power on board, so I might as well fill this up because those will be renewed kind of first thing tomorrow. So yeah, but it doesn't mean, so I can kind of keep this on a trickle charge and I can just keep using it as and when I need, which is just, yeah, it's just brilliant. So are these things worth it? Well, really it depends on what your needs are. here in the UK, power outages are luckily quite a rarity if you're living on land, but obviously some parts of the world that's not quite the case. So having these as backup for domestic power is, well, that would work really well. But in terms of off-grid living like we do on narrowboats or RVs or caravans or whatever it is, look, you know, if you need extra 240 volt, or, you know, these days with like high powered laptops and stuff, you might just need more power. You've still only got those three options. It's either one of these, or it's an inverter, or it's a generator. They're all fairly expensive if you want good stuff. EcoFlow will say this is kind of world class. It's the world's fastest charging portable power pack. And it's market leading, so you know you expect to pay for that. This is 1,200 quid, so it's not cheap, but as I said, nor is a decent petrol generator, and I know what I'd prefer. So I think, you know, look, yeah, they're great. You know, it is what it is. You will need to kind of work out how you're going to use it, where you're going to be slapping and stuff. Obviously I did that bit, that walk down when I was in Rickmansworth with it, because I just wanted to experience what it's like if I had to kind of move it over great distance, and the answer is you wouldn't really want to. It weighs pretty much not far off what a car battery weighs, so it's not exactly lightweight, even though it's okay to carry. But you know, on the flip side, the EcoFlow River, that small one I've got, you could walk for that for miles. That's fine. So going camping or whatever, that thing would be a brilliant thing to take. You wouldn't want to slap this very far, but you know, and the EcoFlow River actually does provide, you know, adequate power. It's kind of got everything you need, and obviously you can charge it up as easily as you can charge one of these. So yeah, all in all, I think they're great. Depending on your needs and your use and whatever, depends on what kind of size of these you can go for. You can get much bigger than these. You can get like a whole system which you can basically power up your whole house with. So if you go on the EcoFlow website, you'll see a whole range of kind of ways of applications and stuff, and all their product range. So have a peek if you're interested. But would I recommend them? Well, yeah, I would. I'll put a link in the description for EcoFlow and stuff, and where you can get them. So Rob and I, we can be here for another week outside the Crystal Palace, which is good. And then we'll mosey on a bit further up into Berkhamsted. Still got loads of stuff to do on the boat. Next thing I want to do is put the trim on. Now I've kind of trimmed off all the lines, I can put a little bit of trim on these side walls, which is going to match up with the bit of trim above the fireplace. So well, that'll be the idea, and then do that in white gloss and start to break all this up a bit. But yeah, so all things good. Hope you guys are very well. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.